So there's a couple things that I want to go over. I feel like a lot of what we do is we go over specific strategies and ideas, and if you go over to Mortgage Shot Skills, you can see a lot of those previous pre-recorded webinars, and they're very, very precise. A lot of them, you know, they are built around strategies to get leads, strategies to get agents, strategies for different types of syndication that you can do, different CRMs that you can work with, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. And it's very, very specific. And I kind of want to overview some things and just kind of talk and meander. And of course, any questions that you guys have, I'm going to make sure that we get these things answered today. But the first thing I want to talk about is simply owning an office, like just owning a real estate office. Okay. And now, what do I mean by that? So, and I've said this before, but when I used to do loans, I used to look at what the wholesale account reps would do, and the wholesale account reps, you know, if a wholesale account rep, you know, if they did 50 deals a month, they were going to get fired because they weren't doing enough business. You know, if a loan officer did 50 deals a month, he's a top producer in the country. So I thought, well, what's the fundamental difference between me and a wholesale account rep? You know, I'm servicing real estate agents; they're servicing loan officers. So what's the difference between us? You could even say that for title insurance, right? I mean, look at your escrow coordinators. You know, they'll do 100 deals a month. So what's the difference in our behavior? Well, one of them is that the wholesale account reps who are really great, they used to always come and loiter in offices. You know, they would just come and hang out. I remember this guy named Jeff Ogden. He would just come into our office and he would just hang out there all day long. And, you know, and then he would go to another office and another office and another office and another office, but he would circle around like once or twice a day. And so what I thought to myself is I'm just going to go loiter in real estate offices. You know, I would go into an office, and right next door to us we had a Coldwell Bank. So I used to go to this Coldwell Banker, and, you know, after a month or two, shut that door, put the sign on, please, and lock it, and then put those things over there. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So what I used to do is, like I said, I would go and loiter in this Coldwell Banker office that was next to me. And after a couple of months, I knew every real estate agent in that office. I mean, every single one of them. I knew the receptionist. I knew her kids' names. I knew what was going on with everyone. I didn't get everybody's business, but I got business from everybody. Does that make sense? So I didn't get everyone's business, but I got business from everybody. And some people, I did get all their business. And I took that one office to, I was closing, you know, 14, 15 deals a month consistently from that one real estate office. And it wasn't the biggest one in town. It wasn't the smallest one in town. It was a decent size office. It had, you know, 30 real estate agents in it, 25 real estate agents in it. But I mean, I was there all the time. You know, I'd get bored. You know how we get up and we walk over, you know, and we'll talk with somebody in a cubicle or an office next to us. Well, I would get up and walk over to this real estate office. And I think with Listing Booster, there's a number of takeaways that you can really apply to this. So here's what we generally do is you probably have real estate agents that you're working in 5 or 6 different offices at any given time. And what we do is we sit behind our desk and we wait for those leads to come into us. But what if we were to go out and spend some time in that office, okay? And, you know, we have that one agent, and maybe we're working Listing Booster, and you're using some of the strategies that we spoke about in the past, and you're generating some of the leads that we've seen or you're capable of doing. And the leads are extraordinary. If they're followed up on, if there's deals that are closed, I mean, there's all strategies behind that as well. The fact is that you can generate a ton of leads for your real estate agents. So imagine if I had with me this really great product back, you know, before it existed, and I was loitering over in Coldwell Banker, and I had, you know, all the agents who gave me all of their business. I had 7 or 8 of them who were using Listing Booster, and every day I was in there and I was talking to them, you know, saying, "Oh my God, look, we got 10 leads here, we got 10 leads here, we got 5 leads here, we got 9 leads here, we got." Now all of a sudden you have a small portion of this real estate office who's got an excitement level that the rest of the office simply doesn't have. You know, because they're generating leads, they've got actionable items, they've got things to do. You know, real estate agents oftentimes, I know they're so busy. Well, you're not that busy with 1 or 2 transactions, and that's frankly, I'm not knocking any real estate agents, but that's frankly what most of them have. And they'll take those and they'll hand them off to an escrow coordinator to do half the work for them. So there really is a lot of wasted time. And now what if I had like these agents who had all this extra activity? What do you think the chances are I'd be able to bring those other ones on board? And the answer is I absolutely would be able to do it. Now, every office in the country has an office manager, and every office manager is looking for somebody who could provide any information that's going to make their agents more successful. And keep in mind, just because you're an office manager doesn't necessarily make you a great salesperson. So they may not even have the best skills to identify what the best opportunities for their office is. So here's what I want to recommend to you guys. And just try this out. The first part of it is let's get out of our seats, let's get in our cars, and let's go to one of our offices where we have 1 or 2 agents who are currently working with us. Now here's a recipe. This is just the recipe. I want you to sit down with those real estate agents, and I want you to show them what Listing Booster does. I want you to train them on that thing forwards and backwards. Okay? So if you don't understand the training, then you can certainly contact us and we can help you with it. Or again, you can go to Mortgage Shot Skills and you can look at some of the previous webinars, and there's about 30 of them on there, or any of the training modules that are on the homepage of your Listing Booster account. There's tons of them that will teach you how to do everything and train your agents up. Now, while you're there, okay, it gives you an opportunity to get acclimated with the other agents and the other people in the office. The first thing is say hi to that receptionist. Find out what that receptionist's name is. Ask them how they're doing. Actually mean it when you say it. It sounds simple, but it's oftentimes, it's oftentimes overlooked. Say hi to the other agents in the office. Ask them what they're doing. Ask them how their business is. Ones that you know and are familiar with you, and ones that you don't know and who aren't familiar. Introduce yourself to those other ones. So as you're making your way back to the office, or if you're getting up to grab a glass of water or bring something in for your agent to share with everybody else, it really doesn't matter. But then when you find an opportunity, what you want to do is you want to let them know, hey, yeah, I'm coming back here. We're working on this Listing Booster account thing. And we've already generated X number of deals off the listings that they have. It's something I'd like to do with you guys. And then when you're talking with your agents, and I'm assuming that if you have 1 or 2 agents who are close to you, when you have these agents who you're close with, they're just your friends, right? Talk with them about speaking at their office meetings. Say, hey, is it okay if we walk over to, Joan over there, who's, the office manager, and see if we can get in a position to where I can talk about making all the agents in this office more successful with the product that you're using right now. Because I'll tell you this right now, they won't say no, because they're always looking for great content for these office meetings. They might have restrictions on terms of what you can and cannot say about promoting yourself, but your agents could put 2 and 2 together and figure out that you're the person or the expert who can help them out with this. But the key to it is what you have to do is you have to not do it just one time, and you cannot base your next action on those existing results. In other words, if you go in there and you don't set up your appointments, you don't get to talk to as many agents because maybe they're showing houses or something like that, you can't base your next activity on what you would perceive to be a less than perfect result. Because what you have to do is schedule it in to where you're going to go to that office. In fact, here's what I would do. Is I would go ahead and schedule that. If you have an agent who calls you preferred, and you have 2 or 3 offices, and they happen to be within a 5, 7, 10-mile radius of each other, see if you can schedule half of your day to go ahead and make the rounds to these offices. Do it once, maybe twice a week, and find a reason to get back there for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Because it's going to be the redundant nature of your activity that's going to make you more familiar to these people. You're constantly saying, hi, remember those receptionist names. Remember those agents. Remember what they said the last time to you. Oh, my God, I got this deal. It's going to shit right now with so-and-so. Oh, man, sorry to hear. Next time you go over there, you ask them about that deal. Hey, we were talking about this thing last time. How'd your transaction turn out? Oh, man, we finally made it. It was a week late. Oh, God, I hate when that happens, boy, whatever. Again, you're making your small talk. Talk with those office managers. And do this thing 3 or 4 times over the course of a month. Again, we're talking about 1/2 of an afternoon, 1 day a week. It's time that we can schedule, provided you're not closing 20 deals a month right now. And see, here's the reason why I think this is so effective. When people look at technology, and I've said this a million times, they're always looking at it as an end game. So when you buy a product, you're basically buying something that's going to do all the work for you. Well, the thing is that technology is just a complement to what you do. I go back to what I said. Imagine if I had a great product. I didn't have anything to sell at the time other than I was just going in and talking with the agents. They really didn't have a lot of back-end products. They had like Loan Toolbox, which, I didn't use. I mean, a lot of people used it, but I didn't use it. Not a lot of people used it, I suppose. But, I mean, imagine if we had these back-end products. So what you're doing is there's a marriage of technology in your personality, because real estate and lending is still a people-to-people business. But it's a marriage of you and great technology. And when you can put these 2 things together, you can lean on that technology as a means of speaking at their office meetings, as a means of working with the other agents in the office, and really as a means of closing more deals. So it actually gives you the opportunity, the excuse to go out there and interact with people, because most of your real estate agents and transactions, they're still being closed by people that they know. I mean, everyone's in love with technology, but the truth of the matter is the vast majority of people who are buying and selling houses right now are doing so based on referrals or past business. I mean, that's how it goes. So becoming familiar with these referral partners is probably the best and quickest way that you can pick up business. And there's longevity in this business, because when you're spending time and actually going and face-to-face and interacting with these real estate agents and providing an item of value to them, they're getting to know, like, and trust you. And when you're working with somebody who you know, like, and trust, you have a tendency to default to go back to what's comfortable. You know, for the same reasons why we go back to what's comfortable with what our daily routines are, whatever they are. I mean, maybe we know making videos are great, but God, we're so uncomfortable doing it that we've done it once or twice and we run away from it, right? We go back to what is comfortable for us. So if you can get outside of your comfort zone temporarily and start to go out there and speak with real estate agents and pair yourself with the great technology, you can start to take on the behaviors of those great wholesale account reps of years past and start looking at what your production numbers can be in different terms. Because your production right now is probably limited to the scope of what your imagination is in terms of what you can do. Well, I have to do this, I'm going to call these people, I'm working with these people, therefore I might get X number of business. You know, but these are the glass ceilings we set for ourselves. When you go out and when you go to 2 or 3 or 4 offices and you're spending time with each one of them and you're going out of your way to ingratiate yourself with the rest of the office, with the office managers, only good things can come. Only referrals can come. Make sure they have your cards. If they say something that you think you can follow up on, my God, follow up on it. Is there anything I can help you with? Or you have any questions about anything going on in the industry? Make sure you follow up on that with these other agents. There's great opportunity there. And here's the most important reason why I think this is a great idea, guys, is because, again, it's all great marketing is built on scarcity. And we're like a herd, you know, when it comes to marketing or when it comes to popular music or popular culture or anything. We're like a herd. We all run in the same direction. You know, what was the song of the summer? What's the clothing here? What's the toy to get for Christmas? You know, what's the latest and greatest marketing tool and technology that we have? And everybody runs in the same direction. Well, the problem is that when everybody's running in the same direction in sales, it becomes hard for you to distinguish yourself amongst the herd. You know, it's very difficult to do. So scarcity is your best friend. And I can tell you this, and I've said it before, nobody in your market is doing this. Just nobody is. I don't give a shit what you say. Nobody's doing it, and if somebody's doing it, they ain't doing it good. Okay? And Mike, if you're that one person or there's one person who does this, then great, you've got one person to compete against, versus right now you're competing against everybody because everybody does the same marketing shit. They all do. You know, I always say this, we travel around the country, we talk to a lot of people, but we do. I mean, we've spoken with a lot of loan officers, those successful and not, and I can tell you very few people are involved in actually going out there and making physical, personal interaction with agents on a large scale part of their daily marketing routine. What else good comes from this? Well, you're training your agents up. I think I just saw a question down here, and I'm going to jump into these, and it was either from Jenny or Tammy. I wonder if they know each other, Jenny and Tammy. Sounds like two friends, doesn't it? But it was either Jenny or Tammy said, well, what I'm doing is I'm calling on all my listing booster leads right now. Okay, and that's, by the way, it's a great thing. That's a great thing to do. But even a better thing to do is if you could have the real estate agents calling on these leads on your behalf. Okay, so if you have the agents who are calling on leads, then that frees you up to deal with more training. Okay, that frees you up to spend more time in offices. That frees you up to go and meet different agents. Okay, and it's also better if the agents are calling because let's face it, the point of contact when somebody's looking at a house, they want to see the house first. They don't want to figure out the financing first. They want to see the house first. You know, nobody figures out like, you know, their payment on their car before they figure out which car they're going to get. It doesn't work like that. People go fall in love with the car and figure out a way to get it or not get it, and then, you know, you work your way down from there. But when you're buying a new car, it always starts with the car you like or the brand you like. It's the same thing with homes. So the point of contact is going to be much more efficient and effective if you can have your real estate agents calling these people. The second point is, and we can go over the numbers, if you want to, but here's the point. Your average real estate agent is not closing enough business to call that a full-time job because it doesn't come with a full-time pay. So they might think they're working full-time, but if they're not getting paid like a full-time employee, then they're working inefficiently. Does that make sense? You can have these agents who say they're crazy busy, and maybe they are. And maybe they're closing, a transaction a month. Maybe it's 2 transactions a month. It's probably not. I mean, consistently. If they're closing a transaction per month consistently, they're doing better than 75% of the real estate agents right now who have a license. So if they're busy and they're only closing 1 transaction per month on a regular basis, then they're not working efficiently. Efficient work would be running down these leads. Efficient work on behalf of your real estate agents would be to find out who these people are, go find them on Facebook, see what they like, see what they do, see where they live, check them out on LinkedIn. There's a number of different ways you can find information out on people, and then train your real estate agents to call these folks and say, hey, Sally, how you doing? This is Brian over here with, 123 Real Estate. I noticed you're looking at my house. Is there anything about the house in particular that you liked or what you're looking for? And then let that consumer speak to your agent. Let that consumer offer up all this information, knowing that your real estate agent has all this ammo in the back right here that they can go ahead and plug in. Well, I know she likes gardening over here because I saw it on her Facebook page. You know what the great thing about this house over here is? On the side of it, there's a great spot over there for a couple raised gardens. I don't know if you've seen this before. The great sunlight, tomatoes would grow like, weeds out there. I mean, things like this where you can not manipulate, but more or less persuade conversation. If you trained your agents to be much more efficient and active listeners and allowed them to make these phone calls, the person who actually has the listing, the point of interest for that consumer, you're going to find your conversion ratio goes up and your time gets freed a little bit more. Okay? So again, now let's just run this to its inevitable conclusion. You're training your agents up on how to actively listen, how to make these calls, how to post their listings on some of their different social groups that you have, how to generate the leads, how to actually get their sellers to participate in the marketing efforts. They love that actually because it's just bringing more people to the table. If you get 20 leads off of a property, only 1 can buy the house, which means you got 19 others who could either list a house or buy a house. That's more business for them and you. Other agents in that office are going to see not only the results, but also your efforts. And that's a great way to pick up other agents. That's a great way to go ahead and speak at their marketing luncheons. That's a great way for you to throw your own luncheons. Maybe you take your top 5 real estate agents from 4 different offices, and maybe you have a little lunch and learn with them, and let them invite, and limit it too. Scarcity. Remember, scarcity in marketing. Make them limited to 1 real estate agent partner. Hey, you got 1 person in your office who can come. We only got room for 10. I'm inviting 5, so you can bring another person. You do a lunch and learn. There's great opportunities, but it doesn't happen unless we get off our butts and we go out there and we actually start to speak with some of these real estate agents. Again, that face-to-face interaction, think about this. If you did engage in this behavior, and 2 things can happen. Your production numbers could remain the same, or they can improve. That's it. They're not going to go down. They're only going to remain the same or improve. And of those 2, if you do it like I say, you're going to be hard-pressed to keep your numbers the same because activity begets more activity. Okay? So only good things can come from doing this. But it requires you getting off your butts, getting in your cars, driving to these offices and starting to engage your agents. And a lot of this you're going to have to figure out on your own dynamically as it takes place. The other things that can come from this is you could speak at your local boards. Maybe you're working with 2 or 3 offices, and maybe you're dropping hints here and there. Man, I sure would like to speak at your board. Well, I'll bet you one of them can get you that speaking gig. So now you're speaking in front of a board. You're getting more exposure with more agents, and you're slowly becoming the expert on this product in your local market. Now, the reason I bring this up is not theoretical. I bring it up because this is the behavior of the few successful people who are using our product. And when I say successful, I mean people who are really kicking ass with it, who are top producers for their company. It intuitively comes to them. This is the behavior that they engage in. I mean, we've got a separate product called Coop Out over here. And I'll let you know, I mean, we make a lot of videos and do a bunch of stupid shit over here for a living. We're constantly putting our face out there. But in our local market, we're like super, super quiet. You know, I have a mortgage company next to us. They have no idea what we do. There's real estate companies around here who have absolutely no idea what we do or what we've done in the past. Just nothing. And it's just because our audience is we see our audience a little bit further, you know, than just what we have locally. But even with that said, we have another product called Coop Out that allows you to market with local businesses in your area, and it's really, really great. And it's something that Frank was spearheading. And we get this thing out, next thing I know, Frank's making the rounds, you know, to all these boards. So, oh yeah, what are you doing today? I'm going to go speak at the board down here. Oh, you picked up a gig at the board. Why? Oh, I just called them. So you just called the board and said, can I go do this? Yep. And they said, yep, yep. So Frank thinking, no, I want agents to know. Picked up the board, doesn't know a single person over there. Hey, I got this product here. It's great for real estate agents. I'd like to speak at one of your meetings. What do you say? Sure. When do you want to do it? How about this day? We're full. How about this day? Perfect. Great. See you then. So you get the board meeting. Now Frank's down there talking, you know, with 150 agents from 15 different local companies. Well, the funny thing is, so that was the Solano County Board of Real Estate Agents. He ended up going to Yolo County, which is one over from us. He went down to Fairfield, and then I think he went to the Central Valley, which is like Lodi. I don't know if you guys know what any of this is. But the point is from doing that one gig, he ended up getting 3 other gigs out of it. You know, and again, just from making one phone call. So the whole concept of business begets business is so vitally, vitally important. I mean, it's something that we have to do. And I do believe in the face-to-face interaction. I think it's a great thing. If your business is too busy for this, congratulations, that's wonderful. Then you should get an assistant who could take a lot of that heavy lifting off your hands, and then you can go out there and continue to be the rainmaker. So if you're closing like 6, 7, 8 deals per month, and your time is all consumed by returning phone calls and the volleying back and forth with your real estate agents, a lot of that could be done by somebody who you can pay $10 an hour to. Or even one of our previous webinars that we did, there's a gentleman named Greg Peckman, who is a top producer. He's got more leads off a listing booster than anybody. He uses these offshore assistants. He's got, you know, in the Philippines that he pays like $3.50 an hour for. And I said, well, how's it working out? He's like, you wouldn't believe the amount of production he's getting from this assistant. The cost to him is inconsequential. It just doesn't even matter. It's so, I mean, you don't even need a top producer to have a full-time 9-to-5 assistant who's going to work on your stuff and do anything that you need. Who, by the way, does not speak in, you know, difficult to understand broken English. So there's really no excuse for you not to get out there and put yourself in front of people. That's going to be the highest and best use of your time and probably the easiest thing to do. Again, if you say, well, I don't necessarily know if I have the confidence to do this because I don't know the product as well as I could, then what I'm going to recommend is sometime this weekend, sit down for, you know, 4 or 5 hours, not all at once, maybe 45 minutes here, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes here, that type of thing, maybe late Friday, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday evening. Just go through and watch some of our other webinars that we've got pre-recorded, and you'll have all the confidence that you need in order to answer any questions that might come at you. The other part of it is, if you do have a question that comes at you that you don't know, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's not okay to say, I know, and then just, you know, spit something out that might not be true. I don't know is totally okay. Frankly, I don't know means you get another conversation with that real estate agent. I'll go find the answer and I'll get back with you. But the point is, this is the behavior of great real estate agents and great loan officers. And even if Listing Booster disappears in a couple of years, this is the point I wanted to get to. Let's say that for some reason it's gone, which it could be, I don't know. I hope not, but it could be. Even if it disappears, there's a great chance that you could make relationships that will far outlive any technology that you're currently using. You know, the real estate agents I had, man, I had Pat Fisk for 18 years. 18 years I got all of her deals. Now, what if I didn't go and speak with her on that first day, you know, 18 years earlier? How many deals would I have lost? What was that relationship worth to me in the long term, in the long run? The fact that I went out there and made that extra relationship, I mean, she was good for a deal a month. You know, a deal a month for 18 years. She was worth $1 million. It was $1 million relationship. So you can have relationships that are going to exceed the length of any technology that you're using. And again, the only way you get there is to go out and make those relationships in the first place. And this is not hard to do. It is just getting in your car and making it happen. We have talked in coaching in this in the past, and I find this really remarkable. We've heard, well, how do you get past the gatekeeper? You always say, how do you get past the gatekeeper? The gatekeeper is a 17-year-old girl making $10 an hour who's getting ignored by everybody in that office. If we can't figure out a way to get by a gatekeeper, we're probably in the wrong business. But the easy way to answer that is set an appointment. Just set an appointment one time, set an appointment 2 times, and then every other time you're going to just walk right by her because at this point you guys know each other really well. So this is the first thing that I would do. Again, it's easy, it's actionable, it's right in front of you, and it will impact your business short-term and long-term. So there's no reason not to do this. If you're new with Listing Booster, I highly encourage this. You know, and if you've been floundering with Listing Booster, I highly encourage this. If you're kicking ass with Listing Booster, I highly encourage this. It just doesn't matter. This is a great behavior to engage in. Okay, so I'm going to go on one more. I'm going to go on one more thing here, and then I'm going to answer some questions real quickly. You know, the other one is it's just too stupid easy not to do, and it just is getting Sine Riders out. You know, we'll send you this. So when you have your Sine Riders, your short code is going to stay in your queue. So you have your own short codes. If you don't understand that and you need help, call our helpline. We'll help you out. When you get your signs sent to you, you have all your codes on your signs. Okay, so they get sent to you. They are your signs forever. So when one sign goes on one house, that house sells, that sign comes off and it recycles back into your queue. And then you can put it on another house. So the only thing you need to do is see what that sign number is, go find the corresponding sign, and make sure that sign gets up. Okay? There's a couple of reasons why this is super effective. And again, highly, highly underutilized. So Listing Booster was built by Kevin Bilberry. He's our partner now. And he built this, frankly, he built it so he didn't have to work with real estate agents. He wanted to have a system that would make him autonomous to depending on working for real estate agents and needing their business. And this is one of the strategies that he used. And it was really trippy because a lot of our initial numbers when we started working on this thing together came from him selling his house. He sold 2 houses. And he started out in Austin, Texas, moved to Orlando. He moved from Orlando down to Tampa, and yes, he is underwater right now. Actually, I think he's not underwater right now, but he has a little vacation home. He's got another home next to his home that got, you know, all beat to hell like a lot of people did. But anyways, the Sine Rider up at his house that he had in Austin, Texas was in a great location, but he ended up getting like 70 text leads on that over the course of a month. So that's like 2 a day. Now, the great thing about the text lead is you know that you're getting an active number. That's number one. So when somebody's filling out a form, they could fill out bullshit just to get the information, right? But on a text lead, we're pulling that information right from their phone, so you know you're getting an accurate number. And you know you have somebody who's actually interested in the house because they're looking at your house. Occasionally, you're going to get a looky-loo, but the vast majority of those leads are really great leads. You know, people who are willing to pick up their phones and sit there and plug stuff in, there's great opportunity there for you because that means they've got at least interest and you're probably dealing with a decision maker. So when you have somebody who has a desire to purchase, somebody who's a decision maker, the only other things you need to figure out to qualify them is, 1, do they qualify, and B, is it the right time for them to buy? So because we have 2 of the 4 points, you have what really amounts to a warm lead. So the best opportunity to get highly convertible leads are to get those signs up. You know, and the other point of it is, we've talked about this before, but 80% of the people who are selling a house are buying a house. And of those, the vast majority are buying in the same neighborhoods, which are going to be your business footprint. So if you see that a real estate agent that you're working with, again, the highest and best use of your time, you're sitting at your desk one day, you're doing your busy work, and all of a sudden you get an email from Listing Booster. And it says, Sally over there at Remax just got a new listing on 123 Any Darn Street. Here's all the links. So you're going to have that, chances are, within the day of her listing it. So what you do is Sally's getting that same message that you're getting, but it's coming from you. Hey, Sally, congratulations on your new listing. Look what Brian put together for you. Then you call Sally up. Hey, Sally, great job on getting this new listing. That's totally awesome. You know, and if you're an average real estate agent, you know, listings are few and far in between right now. You know, we have inventory shortages in almost every major metropolitan area in this country. So when Sally gets a new listing, she's all excited about it. She really is. And Sally likes to talk about her listings like her kids. You know, it's a great moment for her. And like her kids, we don't care. But what we're going to do is feign interest, and we're going to let her tell us about how she got this listing and how wonderful it is and all that great shit. And you're going to tell her, great, this is a perfect opportunity for us to do all the marketing stuff that we need to do. Sally, so what we're going to do is let's post this right now immediately to our new, let's post this to our community pages in Facebook right now, okay? And we have to do it in the manner and fashion that we've actually trained you to do it, because that's the way that you're going to generate a ton of leads. Hey, check it out. Sally just got a new listing on 123 Indian Street. Look at this thing. It's a 3-2, priced right, great entry-level home next to this shopping center in the best school district, whatever. You know, we're going to have an open house on this day, whatever. You know, let's get that up there. And hey, Sally, what we need to do is let's sit down with your buyer. Let's sit down with your seller and make sure that we're leveraging their database as well, because the buyer may come from their database. And boy, they love this because we're going to sit down and watch the leads come in together. All great stuff. Sally's stoked. You're doing so much shit for her. Like nobody else has done this. And it's working because you're generating leads. So all the other good stuff happens. All the other ancillary good stuff happens. Then you're going to say, hey, I want to make sure that we get that sign up. Okay? Because, you know, there's lots of drive-by traffic right now. And I've said this before. If you think about it, when, you know, everyone always says, yeah, print flyers. Who gives a shit about print flyers? Print flyers are, you put print flyers in that little box, you know, on the sign out front, and somebody drives by the house and says they like the house, and all right, and then they're going to get out of their car, hope the weather's good, then they're going to walk on somebody's front yard that they don't know, okay, but they're going to do it because they're interested, then they're going to open the box up, they're going to take that flyer out, then they're going to get back in their car and drive off, and that lead's gone forever, and you lose, and so does the real estate agent. Tough shit. Most of the people looking at houses are not going to buy that house. They're going to buy a house, but most of them are going to buy a different house. So that person goes off, and they go home, and they say, oh, I was looking at this house on 123 Any Street, and the neighbor says, oh, my God, you need to call my real estate agent. Well, that other real estate agent's marketing was now much more effective than you and Sally. Period. It just was. That referral beat out your flyer. And by the way, that referral is going to beat out your flyer every time. Or maybe the person who took the flyer knows a real estate agent. So that real estate agent was a good enough database marketer, so that database marketing beat out your flyer marketing. So flyer marketing always loses out, and yet we always do these things. Yet everybody has a smartphone right now. Frankly, why we call it a phone doesn't even make sense. But everybody has a smartphone right now, don't they? And everybody will text. Even my mom will text now. So if we got rid of these flyers, these inefficient pieces of marketing, and we replaced it with a Sine Rider, well, now that person doesn't have to get out of their car. Now that person doesn't have to walk through somebody's front yard. And they are getting the same information, but they're getting it via a text. Here's the fundamental difference. Now, you and the real estate agent have that person's information. You didn't get it with a flyer, but now you have that person's information. So now you can call them and use your skills of persuasion in order to make your marketing more effective than that referral or that database in the two examples I just shared with you. So it's a much more effective and efficient way of marketing, and more people will engage in it. So getting Sine Riders up is great. And like I said, keep in mind that person selling the house is buying a house. So there's a good chance, you know, if you're going to put a Sine Rider up, knock on that person's door, tell them what you're doing, or have your assistant do it, or have your real estate agent do it, along with the correct instructions. Can I go talk with them about possibly giving them a, quote on what they're trying to do? Maybe you're using some type of, community redevelopment money, some rural housing type of better rate type of having loan than what they're currently staring at. How many deals are in there? Because people who are selling houses, you know damn well they qualify for houses as well. So there's multiple opportunities for getting that sign up. And if your sign's up in the front yard for 20, 30, 40 days, and by the way, it's up until the house is actually sold and they take the sign out. So if you're in a market where you say, well, my house, they all sell in 2 days. Yeah, but your escrow takes 30. Okay? So that means you've got 32 days of marketing with that sign up there. And again, if Kevin's getting 2 a day, what if you're to average 1 a day? And what if you had 20 signs up? That means you're dealing with 20 actual phone numbers and 20 actionable items for your real estate agents to do every day. So if your agent is getting 1 or 2 leads per day, it gives you a chance to send that quick text, send that quick email. Hey, notice we got a lead. Did you have a chance to call this person? And What are we doing with this? Where are we going with this? Or even at the end of the week, you know, hey, I noticed we got 7 leads in over the course of this week. Did you have a chance to talk to everybody? Yes? No? Oh, why not? Hey, come on. We're here to make more money. Let's do this thing together. You know, it puts you in the position of a conductor. So again, the easiest thing to do is to get these signs up. Now, if you're dealing with 10 signs, I get it. It can take some time. You know, so what do we do? Well, you can actually Google map it. And what it will do is it will map the shortest route, and you drive around, and you get it all done. And say the whole thing takes you 15, 20 minutes. Is your day actually so busy that you don't have 15, 20 minutes to do this? Or could you wake up 15, 20 minutes earlier and get it done? I mean, there's ways to make things happen if we choose to do it. There's always ways to find excuses if we don't want to do it. But things that we can do right now that will change our business fundamentally, and it's very easy to do, is make sure we get those Sine Riders up. So those are huge, guys. Huge, huge, simple things that we can do immediately that can certainly help us out. What I'm going to do right now, we'll get into some other strategies. I just want to see what type of questions we have and see if we can get some of these answered. I like Tammy and Jenny, because Tammy and Jenny did participate here. Okay. New to this, loving it, but keeping up with it, not yet. Is there a system in place for response through Outlook? Okay. So the CRMs that we're working with right now are Lions Desk, Velocify, Loan Tech, Big Purple Dot, Mortgage IQ, Broker Agent 360, and Zapier as means of CRMs that we're working with right now. If there's one specifically that we can plug into that you guys are using, we're absolutely interested in looking at those as well. But what we found are these ones that agents and loan officers seem to be asking the most about, the most. Now, if you watch our show with any regularity, you know that Loan Tech, you get that free for 6 months. So you can get off this call right now, and you can go to Loan Tech, and you can sign up for free for 6 months. Go through our show, because that might have the code on it. So if you go to the nationalrealestatepost.com and then go to Loan Tech, you can sign up with them, and you can have a CRM for 6 months that does a ton more. So if you're looking for something, I would give that one a shot, Jenny. Okay. Okay, yeah, so what Jenny's saying is she's not signed up with Lion Desk yet. Give Loan Tech a shot. See if you like it. The issue with Loan Tech that I think people have is it's so robust. It does so much stuff that it's almost, you know, lost in all the noise. But check it out. And again, if you have any questions with it, certainly call us up or call their help desk. But you should be able to figure it out. Most of this stuff anybody can figure out if they actually like spend the time trying to do it. You know, that's the thing. Like 90% of the calls we get, the support calls we get, there's a video that will solve all those problems. So look at, but you know, not everything's intuitive. But I would check out Loan Tech just because it's free. Okay, so as Jenny said, right now I'm manually reaching out to each lead. So Jenny, what I'd recommend to you, like I said, is working with training up my real estate agents and seeing if we can go ahead and have them, because that's a better point of contact than you. More for us to say, hey, if I can help apply here. Okay, so I think what you're saying, more for us to apply here. One of the things that you can do at different parts, like, so we have Pre-App 1003. Pre-App 1003 has a short code, so like so yours could be Jenny, like Jenni. So text Jenny to whatever the number is, and then your own Pre-App 1003, your short loan app would then come up. You could use your short code anywhere that you chose to. So you could actually add your short code into your single property websites and your virtual tours. And what that would then do is link those clients to a more robust, not just a CRM, but a soup to nuts closing technology that you can use, which is really cool. Okay. Is this beneficial for real estate agents also, or specific to lenders? No, this is absolutely beneficial to real estate agents. I mean, that's the whole point. So I'm assuming if Tammy's saying this is because she's a real estate agent. So Tammy, if you are an agent, it absolutely is beneficial for you. And the reason is because, you know, one of the things that we, you know, over here at Listing Booster say is people are excited about homes, not loans. So the idea is the product is built to leverage the interest people have in homes in order to get more closings out of it. And because a real estate agent and a lender have a symbiotic relationship, meaning you're going after the same client but not the same dollar, then it's beneficial for both of you equally. If you have somebody who's buying a house, there's a bunch of lenders who want that loan. Now, if you are a real estate agent, let's say you have 2 or 3 listings or whatever your case is right now. If you do our Sine Riders, and if you do the strategies that we have set up right now, where you're basically taking our single property websites with our lead capture functionality on, and we have another strategy, our Craigslist strategy. If you're doing this on 2 or 3 listings, each one of those listings is worth 75 leads per month, 75 to 100 leads per month. So if you have a real estate agent, 2 to 3 listings, it's worth 200 to 300 leads per month. Now, getting through the noise and figuring out who's going to close on that then becomes an issue. And again, there's strategies for that. But boy, what a great problem to have. I've got too many leads. What do I do? It puts you in a much better position as a real estate agent, because keep in mind, as a real estate agent, if you have somebody looking at your house, there's a chance they own a house and they haven't listed it yet. So for a real estate agent, working your way through the leads, could it be tedious at points? You bet it could be tedious at points. But that's the job that you've chosen, right? But here's the benefit for a real estate agent. What if you have a listing and a sale in there? So you're staring at 6 to 9% commission with a median sales price of $300,000. I mean, you could be looking at $27,000, $30,000 in commissions. So is it worth your time to, kind of rifle through, 100 to 200 leads over the course of a month, which is really 2 or 3 calls a day? Is it worth rifling through that for $30,000 a month? And the answer is yes. So yeah, so Listing Booster is a huge benefit for real estate agents. In fact, as a loan officer, these are great talking points with your agents. Well, I don't have the conversion rate. Well, what's your better bet? If you have 200 leads and there's 3 sides of a transaction in those 200 leads, it's $30,000 to you. $30,000 comes out to almost $500,000 a year in income. Not many real estate agents are making $500,000. And then again, if it's still too tedious for you, hire somebody else. We have my son, the kid who came in earlier. That was my son. He's 18 years old. We have him and his friend. We actually had them calling on leads for a while. Okay, and no knowledge whatsoever about real estate. They do video editing. Okay, but we had them calling on leads. All right, so for the next month, you're going to call on leads. That's what you're going to do all day. Here's your script. Here's what you're going to say. So you have an uninterested 18-year-old kid who knows nothing about real estate agent calling on leads. They had a conversion ratio of 15%. 15% of the people would sit down and have a conversation with them. So if I have an 18-year-old uninterested kid who knows nothing about real estate calling on leads and he's getting a 15% conversion ratio, what do you think you as a professional with an interest in the outcome and a knowledge set, and somebody probably at a very closer age range, so there's common ground type of stuff going on, what do you think your conversion ratio would be? And the answer is it should be significantly higher. So again, food for thought. Truth. All right. So Jenny says here, most people are only providing emails. So train agents to reach out via emails for those. Yeah, a couple of things that you can do on that. Now, as far as providing the emails are coming from our strategies probably on Facebook. Now, if you're getting the emails, what you can do is you can actually put that email into your search bar on Facebook and see if it'll pull up the associated account. Now, when you get that associated account, it should give you more information. Okay, you might be able to find phone numbers on there as well. So that's something that you want to do. Again, is it tedious? Yes, it's tedious, but you know, it's a great job for somebody getting $250 an hour over in the Philippines to look at, to consider, you know, that type of stuff. Or it's a good thing for a $10 an hour assistant in your office. Doesn't take many deals to go ahead and pay that person's salary for the entire year. Or again, if you're only getting the emails, certainly reach out on those emails. You know, I think one of the things you probably heard from Lena over here is, you know, the 3-3 and leave. You know, call, text, email the first 3 minutes, 3 hours later, and do that for 3 days, and then keep hitting them once a week until they tell you to go away. You know, there's a number of different strategies that you can go ahead and use, and if you get the emails, again, it is a marketing opportunity. You know, the other thing is when you have your list, and I thought this was a really great point as well. So your real estate agent is building up a list, and maybe you only have emails in some cases, maybe you have phone numbers, but when your real estate agent is holding an open house, you know, it's not a lead from 2 months ago. And by the way, you never know when someone's going to buy. I mean, it's, there's crazy analytics on this. People are 57% of the way down the road before they actually contact a salesperson. Your average person doesn't bite till the 5th call. And there's a little bit of truth to all of these things. The average person doesn't buy for 6 months, for 5 months. Here's what I know. I know there's a market to sell off leads that have already been stepped on by 3 people 6 months down the road. So like with Zillow, for example, you could have like 3 agents are going to get that lead. 6 months later, that lead, along with every other lead that's 6 months old, is going to be sold off in bulk to a call center group who's going to call all those leads to see if there's any good ones left in there. And they pay good money for it. And the reason they do that is because a lot of those pay off. A lot of those leads that are 6 months old pay off. So here's my point. When your real estate agent is holding an open house, if they have a CRM, they can go ahead and download that list right from their Listing Booster account. They can upload it into any CRM that they have, and they can message, hey, I'm having an open house this weekend. Here's the address. Come check it out. I'm going to have cookies. I'll have a lender there, whatever the case may be. And you can use that as a piece of marketing. So you don't have to actively necessarily call these people, but just because you don't close a lead right when you get it doesn't mean that that's not a good lead. And this is what people do. They're very linear in their thinking. I get the lead, I close the deal. I didn't close it, shitty lead. Not true at all. Because now you're building this list, and every time that real estate agent has an open house, you download that list, you upload it, you send it out, you email that out to everybody, and people will show up. Oh, and by the way, when you send it out, hey, I'm holding an open house on 123 Andy Dog Street this upcoming Saturday, your entire database list that you've been building up for 6 months, you put a picture, or you put the single property website link in there as well. Hey, if you want to see the property, just go ahead and check it out down below. And you have your lead capture on there. That's going to start to give you an idea. So let's say, for example, you sent that out to a database of 200 people. Okay? And let's say you got 15 hits on that. You're going to know who hit that. Okay? You're going to know who hit that based on your email because of your lead capture. Depending on the information that you have, it gives your real estate agent an opportunity for a follow-up with them. So there's great opportunity in these in terms of any of the information that you're going to get. All right, Jenny says, I have an office presentation tomorrow on this. 10 people RSVP'd, and now this is helpful. Thank you. That's so awesome. I'm glad to hear you doing that. In fact, what I'm going to do is, it's Jenny Cordova. I'm going to reach out to you. I want to hear how that whole thing goes. And by the way, I don't know you, Jenny. I don't think I do. But don't worry about how it goes. It just doesn't matter. The fact that you're doing it is the most important thing. The fact that you're doing it, because here's what I tell people when they make videos: every video that you make is going to be the worst video that you've ever done. Okay, and the reason is because every time you shoot a video, you're going to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better every single time. Same thing with presentations. Every presentation you do is going to be the worst one you do. Just accept that, because every time it's going to get a little better and a little better. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you're at; it just matters that you're doing it, because it's impossible for you not to go in the right direction. So like I said, I am going to reach out to you because I want to hear how that whole thing goes. That's awesome. Okay. Dave, who says, the VA are tough to use. Been through 3 of them. Better use WizHire based out of Georgia. Now, when you say the VA, are you talking about loans? I need to get a little bit more information on that in order to answer that. Oh, your virtual assistant. Okay, I got you. So your virtual assistants are tough to use. Been through 3 of them. Better use WizHire. Okay, so if WizHire is working for you, that's great. Find something that works for you. Again, the one that I told you about, Greg Peckman, because I just know Greg Peckman. He's a boss. He's a stud, and he does a ton of business, and he swears by him. So his is a good endorsement for me. I don't have the number for that, but he does say it on the webinar if you want to check it out. But again, all marketing is, if it's working, use it. If it doesn't, don't. So that's cool to hear. Oh, by the way, so if anybody wants to know that, it's called WizHire. They're based out of Georgia. No, excuse me, WizeHire. W-I-Z-E, WizeHire. And they're based out of Georgia. So if you want to check that out, you can certainly check that out. Just got signed, so I need to assign codes to all of them. Okay, so, all right, so Jenny says, I got my signs, but I don't have codes assigned to them. This is an internal debate with Listing Booster that kind of irritates me. I I think we should auto-assign them. Some loan officers don't want them auto-assigned, so we don't do it. Jenny, if you have any issues with assigning those codes or activating that so they auto-assign, then just call our help desk and just say that you're on this webinar, and we'll help you out right now. So we can certainly go ahead and make sure that that gets taken care of you. I'd like that taken care of before tomorrow. What about media centers like through Hancock? So there's a couple of companies, and I think this is what you're talking about, Jenny, is there's companies that are going to help you out with your listing booster account and their other marketing, and some of them will do like centralized calling, where they're going to help you, and it's going to be part of a suite of services. That's a great thing. So Hancock Mortgage is a fantastic. Hancock Mortgage probably, and this is not an endorsement for them. I'm not sales pitching these guys, but Hancock Mortgage probably does the best job of any company I've ever seen collectively with Listing Booster. These guys kick ass with it. So they make it a part of their suite of services. This is part of what they offer to their loan officers to offer to their real estate agents, and they've really engaged it on a high level. And so yes, if you have a company that you're working with and they're willing to do calling for you, or they have a CRM that you integrate with, yeah, you want to make sure that you're a part of that. You want to utilize the tools that you have at your disposal. But yeah, with Hancock, absolutely. Okay. Broker owner. Now Tammy. Okay, so Tammy is she is a broker owner of a real estate company. Now, Tammy, you can go. Let's see, Tammy. This is really interesting. So we have Tammy on here right now. Now Tammy's a broker owner. Tammy might have other real estate agents who's working with her, or working for her, and she's on this call right now trying to find a way to make her company more successful. Wouldn't it be great if there was somebody in Tammy's local market who'd be willing to help and train her agents for her to take some of that, weight off of her shoulders, where Tammy could look down and say, wow, this relationship with this person who's really kicking ass with this Listing Booster product is really benefiting my real estate agents. Because after all, I don't know Tammy, but I guarantee you this, Tammy wants her company to be as successful as humanly possible. And she wants to go about things the right way. Wouldn't it be cool if Tammy, last name C-L-I-M-E-R, Tammy, T-A-M-I, wouldn't it be great if she had somebody she was working with right now to, like I said, be a partner in this to make her more successful? So that's awesome to hear, Tammy. I'm going to reach out to you too. Okay, so let's see. Something I wanted to share. I saw a different video on mortgage shots on Sniffly. I've added it to a few property websites, and we've had a lot more warm, qualified leads come by. All right. That is awesome. Okay, Sniffly is just this really cool thing, and that's great to hear. So that's snip.ly. snip.ly. And what that's going to essentially do is it's going to allow you to build in a pop-up, okay, to your single property websites and to your virtual tours. So now somebody's looking at your virtual tour, or they're looking at the single property website, and then all of a sudden you get a pop-up there. Bloop. Would you like to see what you qualify for right now? All you have to do is click this button, and then it's going to click them and redirect them, okay? And that's where you have something like your pre-app 1003, where you can actually have anything on the receiving end of that Sniffly link. Now, we had a loan officer who was doing this, a very innovative guy. So this is really cool to hear that April's using this. So it's snip.ly. It's not a massive technology learning curve. It's something that you absolutely can do. Now with Sniffly, I know that they offer a free service, so they're going to allow you to do this so many times for free, and then they have an upgrade to their pro service. Now I believe their pro service is like $29 a month. It's not a ton, but the point is, if you're getting enough leads that exceed what the free account is going to allow you to do, then of course you pay the $29. It's how many dollars would you buy for a quarter? Well, I'll buy as many dollars for quarters as I can. So that's really cool to hear. I haven't heard a lot back from Sniffly, but that's really cool, April. So maybe she... Tammy's working. She says, so maybe Terry should have my contact information if she's based in Illinois. She probably should. Okay. So, great idea on Facebook. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. I I reach out on every email if the numbers are there, and I text and call. That's awesome. So here we've got Jenny over here. Jenny's working it exactly how she should, which is really cool to hear. I'm a business development manager for my lender. Do I need a login password? I can get one to get your Mortgage Shots training modules. If you go to Mortgage Shots and just like it, yeah, we have to let you in, but we'll certainly go ahead and let you in there. You bet. You bet. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woot, woot, love my Hancock. Gotcha. Let me know. Can reach out to her. All right. I'm actually a marketing assistant in our Midwest region. I'm helping a loan officer with dirty work. Okay. All right. I think so April's an assistant. Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go now. We're coming up on the hour. We got through all the questions. I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to have a much more relaxed, kind of meandering conversation, and I really enjoyed the interaction. A lot of inspiring stuff here. Check out Sniffly, S-N-I-P-L-Y. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Check out Loan Tech. Make sure you hit those offices up. Speak with real estate agents. Train them, train them, train them. We got proof of concept with Jenny in here, Jenny Cordova, which is awesome. So just keep up the good work, and let's circle back around next week, and we'll start to split hairs and get back into the nitty-gritty. Have a good day.